In this video, I'll be showing you 40 UI elements that every UX designer needs to know. So let's get right into it. We will be looking at these elements in 4 categories, namely navigation, input, feedback, and display. Navigation elements help users move through an app or a website. Here are some of them. Accordion. It is a UI element that expands and contracts to reveal or hide information. It is used to organize content efficiently. Bento menu. It is a grid-based menu. It is used to chunk information for easy scanning. Breadcrumbs. Usually displayed as a horizontal trail of clickable links, it displays a user's location within a website or an app. Hamburger menu. Represented by 3 horizontal lines, this UI element helps save screen space by hiding and revealing a menu when clicked or tapped. Kebab menu. A navigation element represented by 3 vertical dots. It is used to declutter an interface. Meatball menu. Similar to a kebab menu, a meatball menu is used to hide additional options or actions. But unlike a kebab menu, the dots are arranged horizontally. Nav bar. Usually located at the top of the screen, it helps users move between key sections or pages of an interface quickly. Tab bar. Similar to a nav bar, a tab bar helps users navigate an interface quickly. Sidebar. A panel that sits next to the main content on a website or app. Pagination. It is used to break up large amounts of content into smaller, manageable pages. List of links. It is a collection of links grouped together in a structured way. Now let's look at some best practices for designing effective navigation elements. Consistency. Keep your nav menus in the same position across all pages of your interface. Accessibility. Ensure that your nav items are accessible with keyboard focus. Also, pay attention to important factors like color contrast. Aim for a color contrast ratio of at least 4.5 to 1. Mental models. Stick to design patterns that users are familiar with, so don't try to reinvent the wheel and move things around. Next, we'll look at input elements, which are elements that allow users to enter or select data to interact with an app or a website. Button, an interactive element that users can click or tap to trigger a specific action. Checkbox, it is a small square UI element that allows users to select multiple options from a list. Dropdown, it's a collapsible UI element that displays a list of options when clicked or tapped. Input, it's a text box where users can enter information such as names, emails, or messages. It's a key element in UI forms. Combo box, this is a combination of a drop-down and an input field. It allows users to either select an option from a predefined list or enter a custom value. Multiselect, it is a UI element that lets users choose multiple options from a drop-down or list. Date picker, it is a UI component that enables users to select a date from a calendar or enter it manually. Form, it is a collection of input fields that allow users to enter and submit data. Password field, an input field that hides characters as they are typed. It's used for entering password and sensitive information. Radio button is a small circular element that allows users to make a single selection from a group of options. Search field is an input field that lets users enter search queries to find relevant content within an app or a website. Slider controls is a UI element that lets users adjust values within a specified range by dragging a handle. Stepper is a UI element that allows users to increase or decrease a value. It's commonly used for quantity selectors, form inputs, and settings adjustments. Toggle is a switch that allows users to toggle between 2 states, such as on and off or disabled and enabled. Filter chip, it's a small interactive element that allows users to narrow down displayed content based on selected criteria. Best practices for designing input elements. Clarity. Avoid relying solely on placeholder text to guide users in input fields. Keep labels visible. Usability. Make buttons look like buttons. Ensure the primary action is distinct and stands out from secondary ones. Error handling. Validate user inputs in real time. Next, let's look at feedback elements, which are UI components that provide status updates or communicate system responses to users' actions. Badge, a small label that shows updates or alerts. Comment, a UI element that allows users to provide feedback, ask questions, or engage in discussions. Confirmation dialog, a pop-up that asks users to confirm an action before proceeding. Loader, a visual indicator that informs users that content is loading. Modal, a pop-up window that appears on top of the main content and requires user interaction before continuing. Progress bar, a visual tracker that helps users know how far along a task or process is. Skeleton loader, a placeholder UI that mimics content layout while actual data load. Source notification, a temporary non-intrusive pop-up message that appears briefly to provide feedback or status updates. Tooltip, a small pop-up that appears near an element to provide extra information or guidance. Best practices for designing feedback elements. Clarity, when designing confirmation dialogues, clearly state the consequence of the action. Guidance, avoid using tooltips for essential instructions, as users may overlook them. Brevity, for toast notifications, keep the message brief and clear and only display it for 3 to 5 seconds. The next elements we'll look at are display elements, which are UI design elements used to present, organize, and display information to users in a meaningful way. Card, a UI element that organizes content into compact, structured blocks. Carousel, a UI component that displays multiple items in a sliding or rotating view. Charts, visual representations of data used to help users easily analyze and understand trends. Icon, a small graphic that represents a concept, action, or identity. Avatar, a visual representation of a user, often displayed as a profile picture. Best practices for designing display elements. Responsiveness, ensure that display elements resize or adjust appropriately on different screen sizes and devices for a consistent experience. Clarity, make display elements clear and easy to interpret. For example, icons should be accompanied by labels to ensure that users understand their purpose. Which of these UI elements is your favorite? Let me know in the comments.